It is 7:46 now, and today is World Mental Health Day, calling us to work together and support mental wellness. Joining us this morning is marriage and family therapist Susan Harrington from Maison. And Susan, we'll start with today is World Mental Health Day and why having a day like this is such an important thing.
It is so important because what we've learned over the 27 years that this day has been celebrated every year is that bringing awareness and talking about it really helps people acknowledge that I need to get some help.
Sure, and it's a lot of people who could use some help. There's like 1 in 5 Americans, I believe, who suffer with some kind of mental disorder.
Oh, everybody has a little bit different statistics, but it's pretty high. So
Yeah.
for example, in the United States, we probably have lower numbers, but they're still really high.
Yeah.
I read some numbers where it says 80% of people in low socioeconomic status countries have their rate is 80%.
That's a lot.
That's a lot because they don't have awareness, acknowledgement, resources, all the things we have here. So that's
Sure.
really great here.
Yeah.
We have these things that brings our rates lower, but the rates are still high.
And we do have awareness, but we could use more. There's still stigma surrounding mental
Correct.
health issues. How do we
Correct.
move past that?
So we move past that by accepting it, by saying it's a part of life. Probably one of the biggest ways to do it is to not look at our life as mental illness, but look at it as mental health. So when we change we frame it that way, then what happens is we take care of it like we take care of our physical health. You go to the doctor once a year for
Sure.
a physical. Why not go see a therapist once a year and just get a check? Just say, how am I doing, and do that kind of thing once a year. And the best time to do that is as we're approaching the holidays.
Yeah, and why is that?
Well, because I don't know if you remember, I came out here last year and talked about the winter blues.
Yeah.
And so before we get there, before all the family strife and turmoil happens about the holidays and planning and doing all that while school's getting started and that whole activity, it's a really good idea to just go in and go, all right, I need to remember my tools, help me remember to put these things in place, and how do I do this in my daily life today, and do that. And then that way we have a better chance of lowering mental illness and improving mental health.
That's great. And you actually have a campaign that's aimed at doing that. Tell us about the campaign that Maison is doing.
So we had a lot of fun. I had all the staff members go out in different areas of the city. So we did some in New Orleans. We've done some over in Jefferson Parish. We even reached out to Lafourche Parish this year. And we put out some signs that simply encourage people to think differently. So they might say, you matter, or they might say you're worth it, or they might say don't give up, or your mistakes are not your own, they're not based on who you are. Those sorts of things, just a little bit of encouragement. I want to share you this one story we have. So someone put out signs in the neighborhood where they live, and the person someone drove by and said, I needed to hear that today. And that's all we're after, is just someone needing a little lift.
Yeah, making people feel a little bit less isolated. A great campaign. Thank you so
Yes.
much for being with us, Susan, with that information. It's